Welcome to the I Love Wine and Dogs podcast, created, produced, and hosted by Heidi Huebner, with engineering and production by Timothy StoneDancer Coleman. This show was created to celebrate good wine, amazing pets, and people from around the world who are doing great things in their local communities.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, no matter what time people are listening to this show. Hi, Timothy. How are you, my brother?
Oh, I'm doing good, sister. How you doing today?
I am doing great. So I want to start off by saying happy birthday to your mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Post. So
Yes.
Was her birthday yesterday?
It was yesterday. Yes, she is all of the tender age of 83.
God love and bless that lady.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I saw your post on Facebook. I'm so grateful. You know, so many people responded when I put up the, hey, here's my beautiful mom and it's her birthday. And it made like such an amazing day for her. She really was so tickled by it.
So that's one of the things I love about social media, because, how fun is that to have all these, well wishes and birthday wishes from your son's, extended friends and, family friends and all of that good stuff. But the picture was just so beautiful of both of you and just
thank you.
Light. I see where you get that. It just, both of you just radiating, and it was just lovely. So again, happy birthday, Mommy.
Thank you so much.
Think, right?
And yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And you know what's funny? I will say, after you and I worked together on the cruise ship, the next contract that I did, she actually flew in and she cooked for us during rehearsals before we joined the next ship. So a bunch of those entertainers also joined in the celebrations and whatever. So she got a good kick out of that. She's been around for a minute.
I'm jealous I missed out on that. So I'm going to have a makeup when I either come out there or you guys come out here.
Listen, you better be hungry because Mama still throws down in the kitchen.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. So now what's new for you? What's been happening for you out there in LA?
Well, it is getting very busy work-wise. We have a lot of conferences coming in to the airport. So we've got the pups out meeting and greeting people and just making sure their day is calm. And, every day is a great, beautiful day here. It's so sunny outside today. I am so happy for that. And I'm happy that we're here doing the show. So
I'm getting so much positive feedback from the community. And so I'm so excited.
And, people can find us on our social media. I Love Wine and Dogs, all one word, on Instagram, on Facebook, and YouTube. So I think without further ado, let's introduce Marysol and then talk about our featured wine. So hi, Marysol. How are you?
Hi, Heidi. Hi, Timothy.
So Marysol is my hairdresser and my friend. And she's just an incredible lady and has a great story to tell. And we also love wine. So when I was talking about this with her, and she was like, yeah, you just have to do it. I'm sitting in the chair and she's making my hair look gorgeous. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Again, Lisa was like, do it, make it happen. And Marysol was like, you can make it happen. And I did. Coming up with the name, I kind of had to rework something I was trying to do before. And so thank you for your encouragement.
That's
you're
right.
welcome.
So
yes, thank you, Marysol. Yes. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So I was going to say, so the wine before we delve into her interview. So this is interesting. This is called 19 Crimes. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this. And this particular one is the Punisher. So I actually took notes and I'm going to read this because this is a wine from Australia. Okay. And this is based on a true story of what happened. So back in the days of the colonies, they were doing this, I'm going to say a pilot program where they were taking criminals and shipping them to Australia from the UK. And they were starting a new colony, and the goal was to try to rehabilitate these prisoners, putting them to work on the land. Many of them did not make the voyage. So that's where this label came from. And so there are 19 different corks. And so each Well, not all corks, but I got lucky.
There you go. Yeah, we see it.
The
It's
cork
number
that came
10.
out of this particular bottle is one of the 19 crimes. And this particular one was number 10, which is stealing fish from a pond or river. Can you imagine? Stealing,
Wow.
right? So it's interesting. And so all of the bottles list the crime, but there's also a cool thing where it's interactive. So if you download the app and you put your phone on this label, he will start talking and telling
What?
you who he was and about his crime, right?
That's insane.
So super cool marketing idea. And then so the one that I got, and they have different ones. This particular one, and again, I took notes because I wanted to say this right. And then where's my other note?
That's really creative.
I know, right? So this is actually a Pinot Noir. And my palate was saying this was more of a red blend. This is one of the most popular ones that, and especially in the UK, people are buying this off the shelf. But so this is kind of a cherry strawberry, full sweetness. And I also tasted like a little vanilla in it. I liked it. This would be a good, easy drinking wine. Now, this is what's fun. Snoop Dogg also has one of the labels with him, and Martha Stewart has her Martha Chardonnay. So I went to their website. It's very interesting. But, I thought this was very enjoyable. Again, I felt like it was more of a red blend. That's what we love about wine. We all taste things differently. But so 19 Crimes, that's the wine I'm talking about today.
I love it. What an amazing marketing tool. I mean, like, that's a great, like, there are so many celebrities at this point who could be a part of that.
Right. So I just thought, brilliant all across the board on everybody. So Marysol, I know you like wine. What wine do you like? What rosé, red, white, all of it?
I like all of it. No,
Like me.
I like a good cap.
That's cool. And do you have a favorite? Is there one that like rings true
I
that's like more prevalent in your home?
I know I don't have a particular brand that I like.
You like what you like.
I like what I like.
So I keep saying we need to do a wine tasting in the salon, like close
We
it down one
should.
night and just
We should.
invite, the ladies, and the guys too. It's okay if the men
Yeah.
come and just do a fun wine tasting and just like share what we
Yeah, that
like.
would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that and promote your podcast there.
We
That
could do
would
a
be
live
amazing.
podcast.
Yes, we could do a live episode right there in the salon. That's a phenomenal idea.
Yep.
All right. We'll figure out a date. But
Yeah, we
so
will.
let's go into you.
Okay.
So Marysol, where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Mexico and I grew up in a small little town called Puerto Escondido. It's in the south of the state of Oaxaca and it's a beach town. So I grew up in the beach.
Jealous.
I grew up with sandals and surfboards.
I love that. And then how long were you living there before you came to California?
I lived there probably till I was 14 years old. And then I moved to another city in Mexico for like a year or 2 years. And then I moved to California. So I came to California. I was probably like 15, 16 years old at the most.
With your whole family or?
Yes and no. My whole family lived here, but my mom and my sisters were still in Mexico. So after I finished middle school, there was not a high school in that small town where I lived. So it was that's why I went to another city to high school, but I was too far away from my family, from my mother. So so she sent me over here to do high school, and I stayed with her family, and then I just stay. I never went back.
What was that like? I feel like that would be very hard at that age.
It was really hard. It was really hard, but I think it got me mature at a very early age. Because every time I would go back home, all of my friends were still like little kids, and I was already like a mature person, like, because I was like kind of taking care of myself in a big city.
Was it easy to make friends?
It was very easy. Yes, I got enrolled in school, and I met some really good girls and ladies, and now they're women, and they're still my best friends since I came into the school.
I love that. That's really cool.
Yes.
That's really cool. So when you were a child, did you know what you wanted to be when you grew up, or did you have a million ideas? Or
I had a million ideas. I was always interested in beauty. I would always do my nanny's hair. I gave a haircut. One got fired because I cut her hair super short. And she complained to my mother. She had her hair down to her waist, and my mother came home and her hair was up to here. And my mom was like, "What happened?" She's like, "Well, she told me she knew how to cut hair." And she's like, she's 8 years old. She's like, "But she told me she knew how to cut hair." So she got fired. She's like, "Oh, obviously you're not capable of taking care of my clothes." If Marisol convinced you that she knows how to cut hair, and look how she left you.
that is a very good point, right?
At the
Yeah,
age
because I
of
keep
8.
cutting her hair and trying to make it straight, but it was never straight because I was using this scissors that came in with a Barbie.
That's hysterical.
Yeah, there was this Barbie called Hollywood Barbie, and she had hair down to her ankles, and these little stencils that you could, like, you will spray water and you will make like little stars or hearts, and it came with like this little scissors so you can give her a little haircut if you wanted to. So I decided to cut her hair with those scissors, and she trusted me that I knew how to cut hair. So from her waist we were down to her ears. I mean, I would have, at one point I would have been like, "Okay, enough, stop cutting." But she kept on I kept on going and going, and she didn't say a word.
So maybe she secretly wanted short hair, but wanted to blame it on you.
I
'Cause
guess.
I would have been like, enough, right?
Yes.
I love it,
And
the
so
Barbie
that's
scissors.
why she was gone that day. My mom was like, "I don't think you're capable of watching my daughters."
Yeah, I kind of got to agree with that, especially you're 8 years old. Like, what eight? Like, it's, yeah, I know how to cut hair. I know how to bake a cake
Yes.
in an easy bake oven. Oh my God, that's hysterical. So you kind of had the beauty bug.
I did have the beauty bug in me, yes. And when I graduated high school, I wanted to for broadcasting. I wanted to have a radio show. That was my dream. I wanted to have a morning show in LA. And I went to college, and my major was broadcasting with a minor in psychology, because I was always interested in the mind of the human mind, and I wanted to see how it worked. And I was like, if this doesn't work, then I have a plan B. I'll become a psychologist. Then I got pregnant while I was in college, and kind of like put a stop to all that. And then I was like, well, what can I do now? Now I'm a mom. And it was not I didn't really like school. So I was like, okay, what can I do? I said, you know what? I can go to beauty school. I think I always loved that. And it's only a year. I can dedicate a year of my life. And I think I can handle my baby with beauty school. How hard can it be? Little did I know that it was more than just cutting hair and painting hair, that there was much more about it. But and then as I was doing it, I was like, okay, this is everything I wanted to do in life. I talk all day long to people. I became their therapist and I do hair.
I literally was just going to say that because, yes, all of our hairdressers are like our therapists. Everybody spills their guts out. Your degree?
So I got a degree in I cover all the things I wanted to do in life. And one,
Okay, but so how did so you own your own salon though. So
I own
how
my
did
own
that
salon.
happen?
Oh, that's a very interesting story. So back in 2014, I had now two kids, and I was married, and my mother got very ill, and my mother passed away, and I got divorced at the same time. It was like a life awakening that I wasn't happy and life was too short. and I had to do something else. So I got divorced, and my mother used to help me with the kids sometimes here and there. So she was no longer available to help me out. So I moved back to, I was living in a different city in Los Angeles, and I moved back to North Hollywood, to the Valley, with my aunt. And she was so nice to let me stay in her house for a few months with my children till I figure things out. And I was working at another salon at the time. So I had to drive like 50 miles every day just to take the kids to school, to go to work, to do everything, because my work wasn't in the same city. My kids were in a different city at school, and I lived in a completely different city. So I had to jungle. So I was like, okay, I need to find another job that is closer to my house and put the kids closer to my work. But then I was like, how am I gonna, you know, work all this out? Like, people are not gonna allow me to take off every single day to pick up my children and to bring the children with me to work. So one day I was waiting for my kids to get out of school, and I opened Craigslist just to see what was out there, how much apartments were, how much were cars going at that time. And then I said, I wonder how much is a hair salon. So I went, and this salon popped in my feed, and it came for, I was like, oh, Studio City, that's a good area. I'm like, oh, but this is way out of my price budget. Like, there is no way, I don't have this kind of money. And I kept scrolling, and that same place came back again, now with a lower price. And I kept scrolling again, and it came back again with a lower price. And that's when it caught my attention. I'm like, wait a minute, this is the same place that cost twice earlier, and now it just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping, and it keeps popping on my feed. So I drive back home, and I keep thinking about this, and I go back on Craigslist, and I see it again, and now it's at a lower price. And I said, let me give him a call. This was Monday. I said, let me give these people a call. So I called them, and I said, okay. So I said, but I still don't have the money. All I have is like $600 on my account. That's all I have. So I called my sister, and I said, hey, there's this weird thing keeps happening to me every time I open Craigslist, and this is an opportunity. I would like you to come and see it with me. I don't know. It sounds like too good to be true. And we booked an appointment. She came, she saw it, and she's like, I'm in a corner where I have a Floyd's barber shop across the street and another hair salon right across the street. There's three of us in the same corner. And my sister's like, have you seen that there is a barber shop and a hair salon right next to each other? And I said, yeah. So we walked around the corner, and we were looking around, and she's like, I don't think this is a great idea. I said, I think it's an excellent idea. And she's like, plus the place is kind of like very outdated. I said, I'm all in it's a little TLC. I said, let's see how much the haircuts are in the area. So I went into Floyd's, and I said, how much would you charge me to cut my hair? Then I called the other salon. How much would you charge me to cut my hair? Just so I got an idea. And I was like, okay. The woman that I purchased the salon from, she was doing haircuts for $8. That was her advert. She had a big 8 on the window. And I was like, wow, I haven't done a haircut for $8 since I came out of beauty school. And these people across the street are charging way more than $8. I was like, and she was like, how are you going to compete? Like, your new clientele are used to $8. I said, well, yeah, but where else are they going to find an $8 haircut? Nowhere. So this happened on Monday. By Thursday, I was in the leasing office signing the documents, and I bought the business. My sister gave me the money and helped me out, and we bought a business. And I went back to work, and I told the woman I was working with, and I said, you won't believe what happened. I told her the story, and I said, I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice, because now I'm gonna go work at my own salon. I need to do this because it's the only way I'm going to be able to take care of my kids. I did it mainly to be able to pick up my kids and be there for my kids. So I talk to my kids too, and I say, you know what, I'm going to do this. It's not going to be like before where I'm off and we go home and that's it. Like, this is going to be our business, and we're going to have to spend a lot of time there, all three of us. So she didn't believe me that that's what happened. She fired me right there on the spot. She was like, pick up your stuff and you got to go. And
Oh
I
my
said,
gosh.
okay. I said, okay. So I called my ex-husband because we were still in good terms. And I said, hey, I bought a business and I really cannot afford to be without work for too long. Can you help me out? How far can we have this place ready? I just need to paint the place, change the mirrors. I don't like them, and change the flooring. He's like, okay, a week. And within a week, I was ready to open this business. I had no clients, zero clients, because I didn't have time to tell my clients at the other salon where I was going. Plus, I didn't think it was ethical of me to take in the clients that I had built at that salon, because I really appreciate the lady. She became my friend. And I opened my salon and I was there answering phone calls while my ex-husband was working on the painting and doing all that stuff. I was answering phone calls of people that were calling the previous business, and I was letting them know that the old owner was no longer there, that I was now the new owner, and that I was going to reopen, and that the salon was going to be open on Monday. And they were like, how much are your haircuts? And I said, whoa, for the first time, I'm going to honor the $8 haircut. And if you like my work, then this will be the new price. They were like, okay, fair. So for 3 months, I sat there and I did $8 haircuts the whole time. And a lot of people came back. A lot of people were like, well, I really liked it, but I cannot afford it. I cannot afford now. I think I was charging them 20. I cannot afford 20. I can only afford 8. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I cannot pay rent with $8. I
Right.
need 20 at least. And they were like very understanding. And then little by little, they all came back because they couldn't find another place for less than $20.
And
And
somebody who does a great job.
thank you. And then little by then, I raised my prices more. I said, okay, now I kind of took them like baby steps to get them to the price that everybody else was paying, because no one else in this city was paying $8 for a haircut, but that group of people.
That's really smart. And I feel like it was really, really wise to, and this is a great lesson for other folks who are just starting out, that if you submit to the process, right? You knew you were worth more than $8, but you wanted to build a clientele. You knew you were excellent at the work that you do.
Yes.
Anybody who's super pleased with the end result, when they go out, they're carrying that joy with that hairstyle. They're getting all the compliments. They're showing up everywhere. Everyone's like, oh my God, you look so great. Where'd you get that done? So you're
Yeah.
getting all the publicity for it. And then their hair grows back in and they need another cut.
Yep. When they'll
It's
call
always
back.
going to grow back in.
Yep. So yeah, that's how I started my business.
Which I just love this story because that was not what you thought you were going to do. And
Absolutely
then
not. Never in my life imagined that I was gonna have my own business. And I do think it was my mother from heaven that kept sending me that feed, because I was asking, I was trying to get away, like, how is this gonna work? How am I gonna be able to make a living while I take care of my kids on my own?
because I feel, being a parent, we always say this, and a couple, together raising kids is difficult. But then being a single parent, trying to
Yeah,
figure all of this out, and like you said, having to drive 50 miles, I mean, that's just taxing on everybody. And you put out into the universe, help me. I have to figure something else out for myself and for my family. And the universe answered,
it did.
right?
It
Whatever
answered right
higher
away.
being, your mom, your guardian angel mommy, like
I
it was like, here, Marysol, and you took the leap of faith and you did it rather than, oh, I could never do that,
Yeah,
which
no, I took
so
the
many
leap of
of
faith.
us do. I mean, I look back and it's like, wow, that was something given to me and I was too afraid to do it. You did it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So now that you've had your salon, what do you love most about your job and what do you like least about your job?
I love everything about my job. I spend most of my day at the salon. I've met wonderful people in there. And I just love what I do. Like I told you, I do everything I wanted to do in my life. Like everything that I I wanted to talk to people, like, cause all day long, that's what I do. I talk to people all day long. I give them therapy. So I always said I have a PhD. I'm a therapist. I don't have the title, but I already gained a PhD for being behind a chair for 19 years. And I make people look beautiful, feel beautiful every day.
I always
That's so
say,
powerful.
I tell her, once my hair is done, and it's like it is instant happiness, gratification, and you
Yes,
just feel amazing and good and happy. Like
correct.
instantly, instantly.
I would say also it's the energy, right? Someone is working on your crown, right?
That
Like in
is
the
true.
you're working on your crown, and so I don't know if you can see, I have locks, right? And
Yes,
so my loctician, it takes a long time for me to become comfortable with somebody working on my scalp, on my crown, right? Like you have to
yes.
have good energy. And sometimes you come out looking great, but you don't feel great. And what I can sense from you, even though I'm way over here in the Bronx, New York, what I can sense from you is that you have such great energy.
Oh,
And
thank
that,
you.
I think, on top of your talent and obvious results of excellence, is what makes it a full package deal.
Thank you.
Let's talk about how there are so many cool products and things you can do with your hair, like extensions. And I mean, growing up, because I'm older than you, we had none of that. It was you had a bad perm, you had not that creative haircuts, color. I don't even think I colored my hair until like I was out of college, when in the entertainment world where it's like, ooh, I gotta like looking at other people's hair. I'm like, I gotta figure something out. But I think there's so much cool, fun stuff people can do.
Oh yeah, it's the canvas is endless, You just use your imagination and you're an artist and you just do it. And through the years, like I don't know how it was before because I don't come from a family of hairdressers or anything like that. I'm the first one in my family that does this, that's in the beauty industry. And I didn't really got my hair done before. So I don't know, but in the last 18 years that I've been in the industry, it has changed completely. It's like all these trends, all this, all that, and every day they come up with something new, and sometimes it's kind of hard to keep up. And I'm like, well, this is the same thing. They just name it something different. And it's kind of hard right now. Like I said, I've been doing this for 18, 19 years, and I'm 41. I started in my 20s, and I'm starting to feel like, okay, I need to like really keep up because every day something new comes out and I'm kind of like staying behind.
Do you have to um renew a license every year? Is that something like is what does
Every
that
2 years. Every 2 years.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Every 2 years.
And what's that process? I mean, like you have to go, like, is it
What?
intense or?
No, no, no. It depends. I believe it depends on the state that you work in because each state you need to be licensed in each state to be able to work. California does it requires a lot of hours to be able to get your license. It requires 1,600 hours, but after that, you are not required to do any more schooling. You just send a check to the state and you get your license. But I understand some states require like 400, like a few hours of education in order for you to renew your license.
What a challenging and competitive business.
It is.
Yes, it is. But then I will say, um, I have gone to hairdressers, lots of different hairdressers here, whatever state I was working in. And, I love my Marysol because
Oh, thank you.
she knows her stuff. and I'll come in and I'll be like, okay, I need my roots done, or, highlights. And she'll be like, we need to do highlights this time. Like, we've let this go a little bit. We need to trim your hair. And I'm always like, but don't trim it too much. And she's like, just trust me, and I always trust her, and it always looks great. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, I don't know, I think this is a little dark, it needs to be lighter. And she's like, can you just give it a couple washes in a couple days? And she's always right. And it's like, she's always right. I know. She's like, oh, Heidi, here we go again. And my hair always looks amazing, and everybody's like, your hair is gorgeous. And I'm like, well, thanks to my hairdresser.
Oh, thank you. So sweet.
Yeah. So I love you for that. You never steer me
Oh,
wrong.
thank you. Thank
Or
you.
I'll
Thank
come up with
you.
an idea, and she's like, well, your hair texture, no, that really would not work.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, right? Because then I would be crying.
Yes, we don't want that.
Anything else you want to share about anything?
No, just if you have an idea, an opportunity, go for it. Don't think about it. Life will work its way through it. No matter how big the challenge it is, if you're like, oh my God, poor me, you're gonna stay in the poor me. If you just do it, the universe will make it work, and you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I'm glad I did it. Imagine if I would have never taken that risk.
That's right. We talk a lot, Heidi and I, about the biggest place where people fail is taking step one. You have to get into it. You have to put yourself out there in order to see what that feedback is going to be from people.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. Nothing is set up to be easy, or everybody would do everything. You have to be dedicated to it. And so, what drives you to keep going?
I think my kids, this whole thing has been wonderful, has given me the opportunity to provide for my children, to be there for them. Yes, it hasn't been easy. And I always call them, you guys are salon babies, because they grew up in the salon. And I used to tell my clients, I used to close my business every day from 4 to 5 because I had to go pick up my babies. And we will come back, and I'll have their dinner at the salon. I will sit them in the back, and then I have a little couch in the front, and they would always be sitting in the front waiting for me to finish. And I would tell them, if you don't like kids, they were amazing kids, but if you don't like kids and you don't feel comfortable around them, don't come from this time to this time, because I do have my kids in the salon.
I remember those days and them doing their homework, and they were always very well behaved. I have to say, they were literally like they are such good kids.
They are. So, yeah. But if they're, like I told Heidi when she told me about the idea of her podcast, I'm like, just do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? That it doesn't work out? Oh, well, at least you could say that I tried, instead of just being a dream of yours and never do it.
That we need folks that believe in us and encourage us to just try it. Just try it out.
When she told me the idea, I'm like, oh my God, that's a great idea. Just do it. Do it. I mean, if it's not gonna work out, then it won't work out, and that's it. No, there's nothing, you're not gonna lose anything.
That's right.
And the whole fun of it is just talking to people in my life that are just awesome people doing great things. That's the joy for me. And I want, people to listen. If somebody watches this and they have been, in one foot, out one foot of making a decision to do something, and they just take the leap of faith because they listen to you. And it's like, if she can do it, I can do it. That's huge.
Yeah, you just
right?
gotta be, just stay there and focus, and don't, just keep trying.
Absolutely. I love that. So I forgot to ask at the beginning of the show for you to talk about your dog. Hello, I can't believe that, but I was just so excited to talk to you. So tell us about your little fur baby.
Oh, my fur baby, she's so sweet. Her name is Ellie. And here's a secret, she's the best thing I got out of Tinder. I was on Tinder at one point in my life, and I met this guy. who sold me the dog. And I'm like, I don't care. I wasted my time there, but you're the best thing that came out of that application because we love her so much and she loves us. And it's just, it makes my kids' life so much happier.
That is the best story. I did not realize that's how you got her. Of course, we're going to be posting a picture of Marysol and Ellie on our social media. I love wine and dogs, all one word. That is hysterical, and I love that. That's a great story. All right, before we close it out, this is my favorite thing to ask everybody, is if I had a magic wand, and you could use that for anything. If you had a couple wishes, it doesn't matter what it is, for what it's for. Off the top of your head, what wishes could I grant you?
What wish can you grant me? Oh my God, that's a hard one. I want a successful business for another 20 years.
Done. Okay.
And I would love to be able to enlighten people's lives, like be like a mentor for them. I would love that, be able to talk to people and kind of change how they encourage them to do them. So done with my magic one.
I love that.
And I would love to be able to travel the world.
So, that puts that idea in my brain because I'm always talking to so many different people where it's like, okay. I know some groups where if they're doing a day and if it would work out in the schedule that you could come in as a guest speaker and share your story and encourage. So that's going to be on my list of putting that also out there and to see if we can make that happen sooner than later.
Perfect.
Very, very powerful. So how do folks who are listening to this, they're captivated. They're like, wait a minute, I would love to go to Marysol and have my beauty day. Like, how do folks get in touch with you?
Okay. I'm on Instagram at Soul Salon LA. And my website is soulsalonla.com.
And that's SOL, right?
SOL.
And we'll put that also up on our social media and on the podcast.
Yes.
All right. Well, I am so happy you were our guest today. I am so glad that you are my friend and I get to see you whenever I need to. I love and adore you and I'm so proud of you. And
thank you. I'm proud of you for your podcast too.
Thank you. And, Tim, what could I say? My partner in all of this, it brings me joy to be able to see you because I wish we also lived in the same state, but.
Me too. Listen, there's been a phenomenal thing with all of this video chat and all the ability to be in different locations and do things. But it's nothing like being able to drop by someone's house and get a big old yummy hug and, have a good glass of wine and chat as friends about our lifetime and life experiences. So that part is coming, right? Like what we're doing now is leading up to us having more freedom to do those other things. But I'm so glad and proud to be here as your partner and be a part of this. You're doing a phenomenal job. And I think so many people's lives are going to be blessed by the work that we're doing.
I agree. Amen. Thank you. So that is going to conclude our show today, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching. I love wine and dogs, all one word. Remember, share on our social media pictures of your fur babies, wine suggestions, and most importantly, please adopt and don't shop. We have so many gorgeous, amazing animals in the shelters that need a loving home. You can find them locally. Everybody's got them. You've got your local rescue groups and shelters. So if that's the time, if you're ready to bring somebody into your home, please reach out to your local community and adopt. So thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.